I think it was about 17 people that we started with. They were directors and senior directors. I think the few guidelines we had is we didn't want people that reported to other people. And I think another good benefit of it is that we had a broad cross-section across the organization, so they came from a lot of different groups. And I thought that added a lot of value. But hey, when I look back, one of the biggest things that I think we can take a lot of pride from, a lot of those people have been promoted, and some of them were the ones who were sitting there in the beginning thinking that they didn't have a chance. And so I think that's a very cool thing. I think the group was proud anytime, somebody got promoted. Right. So Raina, when we think back about the survey that we sent out after we had completed the WOW, I remember that we got very positive results on the content, on the networking, on their ability to put that new information really into play in their own work. What stands out for you?
I recall was them sharing some information as it related to really their ability to share information differently. They talked about, the way they were able to frame some things up that they hadn't thought about, and that was impactful and effective for them, particularly with their leaders. I remember some of the feedback that we heard from the gals was really around, gee, I didn't know that I could be as effective when I shared something, and some of the information in the modules really allowed them to do that more effectively.
I agree. That makes me think of another point. It was about their self-awareness was really raised through these classes. So they really got a much better understanding of how they're looking to others around them, and how by making small changes, they can really get big results in just their presence.
Right. I think we definitely saw I think we even saw that ourselves from the beginning towards the end, that there was much more confidence in the room, where some of them, if you remember when we started off, there were probably 2 or 3 women that were probably more vocal. And then when we got down to the end stage, there was a lot more engagement, I think, from all of the ladies that we didn't really see at the beginning. So it obviously affected their ability to communicate, and I think that some of the skills that they walked away with, what we basically saw in the results, that they were going to use and leverage those in their career path. So I think that it was quite a success. When we rolled out the getting the right work done, if you think back, I think that was one that was very pertinent to everybody in the group. They all talked about the fact that they hadn't really thought so much about, gee, I wonder if I'm actually chasing what my boss is expecting me to chase. And I think that was really relevant to just about everyone in the group. They actually came back and talked about, I hadn't really thought about that, and including myself to some degree. So I think that was a program where we were able to really ask the gals to think about the work that they have in front of them, and really step back. And I think that's oftentimes what we fail to do, is we get so busy in our work life that we oftentimes don't take the time to kind of step back. And that kind of gave us that ability to really recognize, did we really do the important things that were driving the business results, or were we focusing on work that maybe we felt more comfortable with, as opposed to what was really going to bring the benefit to the organizations?
And I really do think everybody learned something from that. I don't think they went in thinking, I know this, but I think it ended up being different. Right. And so that kind of set up the rest of the course for, hey, there's some stuff I really can learn from this. I remember specifically some of the things around tastefully tooting your own horn, and what that meant to some people, and how some it was very easy, and probably they maybe overly did it. Wasn't quite so tasteful, where others it was real hard. And I think seeing that broad range in that group in all those modules was helpful. And it certainly, I learned a lot of it for myself, but also in coaching others. So I think there's a couple of things. First of all, one thing we heard loud and clear is that people that were in the WOW program learned a lot and are sharing that in the organization. So I think you and I will never really know the full impact of that, but there was a lot of interest too to follow that up with some more structured content, keeping this group going. And remember, we offered some less structured ways, but they really wanted to see more content, but also while they had more opportunity to continue to talk about these 6 modules. The other thing is, I don't think anybody prior to this in a big way was talking about paying it forward. And I think they all left that with feeling that they wanted to give back in some way. They did want to pay it forward. And I think when they came in, that was not a goal of theirs at all.